Okay, let us have a look at this Taal question. Now, as I've said multiple times, if you're under heavy time pressure, you don't need to read the text. The answers aren't in the text. They're simply there for context, which we don't use in every question. So let's get straight into the question. So, gee die verkleinwoord. So this is a diminutive, eetplek to eetplekkie. Nice, easy one, relatively basic. We double the K and add an IE. A synonym. I used to love making this like malapropism joke. Instead of calling them synonyms, I used to call them cinnamons. Silly. Okay, give me a similar word to lekker. So anything similar. Heerlijke. Heerlijke kos. Smaaklijke. Geurige. Anything to say that the food is nice, it's delicious. Gee die korrekte woord. 20 jaar gelede of jaar. So 20 year or years ago. Now I know the answer directly in English would be jare, 20 years ago, but in Afrikaans it's jare. 5.1.4, now the difference between a homophone and a homonym, so a homophone and a homonym, is that IE, that's your hint. A homonym is two words that are spelled exactly the same that have different meanings. So if you think back to English, a word like wind, or it could also be wind. The wind blows me away, I wind my toy car up. Or a nice homophone would be bear and bear. My feet are bare, I'm not wearing socks, and the grizzly bear is chasing after me. So give 'n homoniem van dier in 'n sin sodat die betekenis duidelik is, so that the meanings become clearer. So dier, in this context, it can mean through or door. So this dier, it could mean door or through. Now, if we are referring to a door, maybe you close the door, you open it, whatever. So something like ek het die dier gesluit. Or maybe, you're like a soccer player and you've just like broken the line of defense, and then you could say you're through on goal. Ek is dier. So anything along those lines would have scored you the mark. We have a psalm stelling here, so two compound words. We would replace that plus with an S. Toegangsfooi. Remember, something like kind would become kinder. Or land plus taal, landstaal. So we usually add an S or an ER if it's kind, or sometimes even an E. Next we get to voorsetsels. So it's 20 rand per person. In Afrikaans, same. 20 per persoon. Okay, antoniem, die teenoorgestel. So the opposite of oud is going to be jonk. If it was just O, then the answer would have been jong with the G. But this is going to be jonk with the K. Byvoeglike naamwoord. So it's a noun here. We need to change it to an adjective. So what kind of musiek is it? Vrolijk musiek, vrolijke musiek. Gee die meervoud, this is a nice one. With voetu, we add an apostrophe and S. Die voegwoord, so this is a dat voegwoord. In a situation like this, omdat, it goes between the two sentences. And us, it goes to the end. Now, it doesn't go right to the end. Nie must always be the last word. So it becomes usnie. So the sentence would read, die vlees word sommer op die saaipaadjie gebraai, omdat daar nie genoeg plek in die tent is nie. Vul die ontbrekende leestekens, so the punctuation mark here, in 5.1.11. So word saam met pap, wors en chakalaka bedien. So we're listing here. So between pap and wors, there needs to be a comma. Gee die korrekte woord. So spyskaart and recept. A spyskaart is a menu. This is a recept. So if you look very closely at the sentence, it's a what of success? Menu for success, or a recipe for success? It's definitely going to be a recept. Voornaamwoord is a pronoun. Yeah, I know we live in 2024. Can't assume anyone's pronouns. But now we would need to look at context. We're dealing with Mzoli here. Is now 64 years old and believes that hy sy doel bereik het. So he believes that he will achieve his goals. Doel bereik, reach his goals. 5.1.14, we need to begin the sentence with hiervoor. So rewrite the sentence. So it would be hiervoor, and now stompie. Remember, it goes verb 1. So hiervoor kry, that's the key, Mzoli beslis volpunte, with an exclamation mark at the end. So the key there was just popping in the first verb. So here we have our print. You'll always get a print. This is always the last question of the paper. It's the last part of taal. Gee een woord vir al hierdie dinge. All these words here. A pen, a lineal, which is a ruler, a razor. So this is stationary. What is stationary in Afrikaans? So there's multiple ways you could have written this. The one that I learned when I was in school was skoolgoed. That would represent all your stationery. Alternatively, this is like more saver. It's more proper Afrikaans. So skryf behoeftes. That's another one you could have used. Then we have some leidende vorm. Die leerders het die prente ingekleer. So die prente is our object. Die leerders is our subject. So we start the sentence off with die prente. This is in past tense, so it becomes is dier. Now we introduce our object again. Sorry, our subject. Die prente is dier die leerders ingekleer. So this was our object and die leerders was our subject. Die correcte Afrikaans vir scissors, this is a lovely one. It's skar, r. So that E gets a little copy. Skryf die sin in die infinitive oor. So plug in the infinitive. So leerders plak die prente met prit in. So they're using prit to just stick in all of their pictures. So this would be die prente. So infinitive is plus te. So we introduce our die prente, and then we split up in plak. Die prente in te plak. Kies die correcte spelling. So is it potlood or potlood? It's potlood. That's the correct. It's written with a D. And verlede tyd to end things off. So this is a pretty easy one. This is a nice het en ge one. So this goes to the end. It becomes gedra, and we replace it with a het.